Alright, hello guys, and welcome to the first back-to-back video I've made in Lord knows how long, actually probably like 3 or 4 months. But in today's video, if you didn't read the title, which I don't know why you wouldn't, but today's video is going to be what if the Pawkitew Island cast got a season 2. Now, the Pawkitew Island cast is controversial to say the least, and their season wasn't very well received, but I still decided to do it just because I feel like I've touched most corners of total drama at this point. Outside of this, I've done stuff with revenge, I've done stuff with island action, I've done pretty much everything except for Redonkulous Race and this. So yeah, let's get into it. So I have 2 teams, which are not randomized or anything. I made these. On the Stupid Snakes, we have Sammy. I'm going to call her Sammy. I know her name's Sammy. And most people are going to call her Sammy this season, but I'm still calling her Sammy. Beardo, Sky, Dave, Sugar, Leonard, and Ella. So Sammy is just kind of going to be the nice person that Beardo can talk to, because Beardo obviously isn't going to be the first boot again, and it's shown in his confession, or not his confession, in his audition tape, that he can talk and he's just super shy. So Sammy is going to be not like a lover. They're not going to fall in love, I don't think, at least not at first. Maybe it'll change, I don't know. But they're gonna be friends, and he'll finally find a person that he feels comfortable talking to. So that's why they're next to each other. Sky and Dave hate each other because Dave went mad, and we can say at the beginning of the season, they all go back to Pawkitew Island, and they find that Dave's been stranded living there this whole time, and he blames it on obviously Chris, but also Sky. So they hate each other. And then there's Sugar, Leonard, and Ella, and this is gonna be the wonkiest love triangle to ever love triangle. Ella and Sugar still hate each other, obviously. Well, I mean, actually, Ella didn't hate Sugar at first, but now she does, just because she's watched it back, and also Sugar likes the wizard, which is shown in season 1, but in this season, Ella is also gonna like the wizard just because she can see it as like he can be the knight in shining armor. I don't know, some fantasy roleplay BS. But that's what we got on the Stupid Snakes, and then we got on a very interesting named team, the Retarded Rabbits. We have Amy, who I separated from Sammy just so that she can at least do some stuff on her own. Sean and Jasmine, who just love each other. Scarlett, who had to be bailed out of prison to get here by Chris, so she was bailed out of prison. Max, who is only here to piss Scarlett off. Topher, who I'm gonna say, like, his whole thing is gonna be that he thinks that the reason Chris didn't like him is he wasn't a good enough competitor, so he's gonna try his hardest to get far, and once he gets to, if he can make the merge, then maybe Chris will notice him. So that, and then Rodney is just kind of being Rodney. He's just kind of here. He's still in his season 1 form of falling in love with every girl who interacts with him. At least right now he is. So this is still only a 13 episode season. That's why the merge is so quick, and episode 1 is an elimination episode. So the retards, I'm gonna call them the rabbits just to stay safe. I don't make money off this channel, obviously, at least not yet, but if I ever do someday, probably shouldn't be saying that word as much. So the rabbits lose the first challenge, and Max has been really getting under Scarlett's nerves, and Scarlett's been like trying to calm herself down because she knows she's automatically probably going to be a huge target with Sean and Jasmine on the team, who were there when she tried to take over the island, and Max, who's just a really annoying and obviously hates her now. So she has been getting really pissed off at Max, so she goes to Amy and also gets Topher and is like, hey, we are not liked by the other contestants. So we should all three of us should team up, and they both agree, so that they can have numbers, and so Topher can get to the merge, and so Amy can stay in long enough to eliminate Sammy, which is what her goal is. And Scarlet still wants world domination. That's what she wants the money for, but she's not going to be like as batshit insane this time around. So the three of them almost have majority, but they know Sean and Jasmine and Max are not going to move from voting Scarlet. So Scarlet goes up to Rodney, who has fallen in love with Scarlet this episode, and it's like, you know what, Rodney? If you vote Max, I'll let you hold my hand for 10 seconds. And Rodney's like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. She wants me to hold her hand, because Rodney's kind of stupid. So Rodney does that and holds Scarlet's hand, and Scarlet obviously doesn't like it, but Max is eliminated as the first boot. I don't really care about Max. I just kind of got him out of here. In the next episode, the stupid snakes lose. And over here, Sugar and Ella both are crushing over Leonard. But Leonard, in confessional, says that he doesn't care about either of them, but he likes the attention he's getting from girls, because obviously normally he doesn't get this. But he doesn't care about either of them, and actually really doesn't like either of them. Because like, if we can say Sugar's Sugar, and Ella would try to sing him a song of love, but he has a girlfriend at home named Tammy anyway, Redonkulous Rice character. But he's gonna play them into voting, or into getting any suspicion off of him. So Sky and Dave vote each other, and Sugar and Ella vote each other, but Leonard goes over to Sammy and Beardo, who have just kind of been, Beardo's been like off on his own, and Sammy was going to go talk to him, and he opens up to her a little bit, and then Leonard comes up and Beardo stops talking, and he's like, you know what, guys, I have an idea. Let's get the biggest physical threat out. And Sammy's like, wow, I didn't think you'd be actually planning in this game. And he's like, yeah, sure, whatever. But the three of them all decide to vote Sky, because Sky is the biggest threat. So with Dave voting Sky as well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 votes Sky, 1 vote Dave, 1 vote Sugar, and 1 vote Ella, where Sky is eliminated in episode 2. Now, I don't know if I said this, but there's actually been an idol, and at the beginning of episode 3, somebody finds the idol. I'm not gonna say who, though. Actually, it's after the elimination that the person finds the immunity idol. I should say that. That's important. But the rabbits lose. And Scarlet does the same thing, so where she's like, hey, I'll hug you for 10 seconds if you help us vote Topher, Amy, Scarlet, and Rodney vote the winner, and also the biggest physical threat here. Well, maybe not the biggest physical threat, Jasmine might be more, but definitely the winner here. And that's Sean. So there goes our final 2 from last season immediately, which I think would be pretty shocking, but not feel forced because Max is out before them. And then right after the elimination, somebody on the island finds the immunity idol. And then episode 4 happens, where the stupid snakes, there's a lot of alternating in the merge, or in the pre-merge, but it's fine. The stupid snakes lose, and Leonard is really starting to get annoyed with especially Sugar, because he thinks Sugar is gross, and also he knows Sugar is a really easy vote to convince these 3 to get off, because nobody likes Sugar, and also it'll get Ella will trust Leonard a lot more, because Ella's been starting to question, why has Leonard not helped vote Sugar out if he really likes Ella? Well, because Leonard's been saying how he loves both of them to each of them alone. So everyone votes off Sugar. Literally everyone on this team votes off Sugar. And Leonard comes up to Sugar at the Dock of Shame, or whatever it is, the Cannon of Shame, and tells her that he never loved her, and she's fat and ugly and stupid. And he says she brings the stupid to the stupid snakes, and she goes home crying, and Leonard laughs. And then Ella's like, you told her. Little did she know she was also being played. Speaking of played, our idol will be played in this elimination ceremony with the retarded rabbits. I said it again. Where it looks like an obvious vote off for Jasmine, but Jasmine sits Rodney down and is able to convince Rodney that they're just using her, or him, I guess. They're just using him, and he's like, I don't believe it, prove it. And she's like, go ask Scarlett for a kiss for the next vote and see what happens. And he goes up, sure enough, he asks Charlotte, I'll only vote who you want to if you give me a kiss for 10 seconds. And she says, no, that's too far, that's gross. And he goes off crying. And now that they know he's not going to be with them, the three of them all vote Rodney. But Jasmine, knowing this is going to happen, gives her idol to Rodney, and Rodney and the two of them vote Scarlett. So Scarlett is eliminated with an idol play in episode 5. So yeah, goodbye to Scarlett. And then in episode 6, our last episode before the merge, the rabbits actually lose again. There's only going to be 3 going into the merge. And it's obviously going to be a tiebreaker. So Rodney and Jasmine vote Amy. And the reason they do this is Jasmine hates Amy because Jasmine's friends with Sammy. And hates the way Amy's treating her, because Amy's still a jerk to Sammy even when they're not on the same team. She still tries to mess with her. So they vote her, while these two vote Jasmine, just because Amy doesn't like that Sammy has friends on the island. Even though a smarter thing would be to get rid of the person who betrayed you, but neither of these two are very smart, and Topher's just happy that he's near the merge. So, obviously, Amy versus Jasmine. Jasmine is fueled by rage. We can say Amy was especially a jerk that day, did something crazy, said something crazy. So Sammy ran off crying. Beardo had to comfort her. And Jasmine, in the tiebreaker, absolutely destroys Amy and yells at her. Gives her a whole thing. I don't know. And Amy is eliminated in episode 6, losing the tiebreaker. So that gets us to our merge. So congratulations to Sammy, Beardo, Dave, Leonard, and Ella from the Stupid Snakes. And congratulations to Topher, Rodney, that's not, and then Jasmine from the Retarded Rabbits. So the merge hits, and Jasmine comes up with Rodney, and Rodney's started to get a crush on Jasmine, even though he knows that Jasmine, this actually happened in episode 6, I forgot to say this, he knows that Jasmine is with Sean, but he still has a crush on her, so he tries to ask her out, and she sits him down, and she's like, bro, you gotta chill with all the girls, you're creeping them out, I have a boyfriend, yada yada, but they're still chill, and he's like, yeah, okay, I'll try to tone it down, I'm sorry, whatever, and they're friends, they give each other a fist bump. So the 4 of them are all aligned, while Leonard still doesn't like Ella, but is manipulating Ella into being a thing, while also keeping up his whole wizard thing so that he's not seen as a threat. And then Dave and Topher are kind of just here. But Topher's made it to the merge, so it doesn't actually no, we'll say Topher wins immunity, and then is like, oh my goodness, I've made you so proud, Chris, and he's being really weird towards Chris. I'm talking like Sierra levels of weird towards Chris. he's like asking to be the next person. He's being really annoying. At the elimination ceremony, he tries to grab the marshmallows so that he can do it, and Chris snaps and it ends up kicking out Topher in episode 7, which means there's only 2 members of the rabbits left. But that won't be the case for long, because in episode 8, Leonard is able to rope in Dave just by saying that there's 2 strong duos, and they're all friends, so there's a whole squad. So he needs Dave to be on there, or else Dave, and Ella will all get picked off one by one by the majority. So Dave's like, okay, that's fine, and Ella's like, oh my goodness, you're so smart, but how are we gonna get our 4th vote? And he takes Rodney aside. Leonard takes Rodney aside, and Rodney, remember, is still very stupid, but Leonard has found out about the whole thing with, he was eavesdropping when Rodney tried to ask Jasmine out, and they sat down together and all that. Well, Leonard says to Rodney that he saw Jasmine and Sammy and Beardo shit talking him and being like, wow, this guy's so stupid, he's definitely the next out after we get the other 3 out. And he's like, yeah, I'm sorry to have to tell you this, buddy, Leonard says to Rodney. And Rodney is super angry, and he wants to go confront Jasmine, but Leonard's like, no, you shouldn't do that, let's just handle this at elimination. And Rodney's like, yeah. So with and also we'll say, I don't know, freaking Ella wins immunity, I don't even know, it doesn't matter. But the 4 of them vote Jasmine, while the 3 of them, not knowing Rodney's gonna switch, but Jasmine knows that Rodney's been giving her a bunch of like angry looks all day, which is kind of weird. But the 3 of them, not knowing Rodney's gonna flip, all just randomly decide to vote Ella, just because. Jasmine is eliminated in episode 8, leaving only 1 rabbit left in the entire show. Then we get to episode 9, and in episode 9, just like how Sugar was getting to Leonard under his skin, Ella has been really getting under his skin, because Ella is like pretty much under the impression that they're boyfriend and girlfriend at this point, they're dating, and she loves him, she's bringing him all these weird gifts, and singing him songs and stuff. So, he does a similar thing to what he did in episode 8 to get Jasmine out. Now, knowing that they're on top right now, they'll still have majority either way. He gets Dave, and he gets Dave and Rodney. He's like, y'all both had girl troubles, and I want your advice. Obviously, Leonard's playing the victim card. He's not actually the victim, though. He's like, Ella's been my girlfriend for these past couple weeks, but she's super annoying. What should I do? He's like, and Dave's like, you want my advice? Just get rid of her. And Rodney's like, yeah, we'll still be on top. And Leonard's like, you know what? You're okay. That was his plan from the get-go. But he's glad he didn't even have to bring that up. So the 3 of them vote Ella, and 2 of them, it doesn't really matter who they vote, because Ella is told to vote Beardo, and the 2 of them vote one of these 3. I guess they can vote Rodney because he's the biggest physical threat, and also betrayed them. So 2 votes Rodney, 1 vote Beardo, and 3 votes Ella, leaving Ella eliminated in episode 9. And similar to what happened with Sugar, Leonard comes up to Ella and says that she's just as bad as Sugar, and she's terrible, and he hates her, and he never loved her. And she goes off crying. This leads to the weirdest final 5 in any of my videos ever. Sammy makes sense, because she just feels like kind of finalist material, and like getting far material. but Beardo, Rodney, Leonard, and Dave, especially in a season that takes place right after the first season of Pawkitew, is very weird. But in our next episode, Leonard, who has control of the guys, after Sammy wins immunity, Leonard's like, alright, well, I guess we're just gonna get Beardo out. He was the biggest physical threat anyway. That wasn't with them. So, the three of them, in a pretty easy vote, just vote out Beardo. And Beardo, yeah, we can say Sammy gives Beardo a kiss on the cheek, and he's, says goodbye to everyone. He says he's gonna open up more. And they had a cute little storyline there. And then in the next episode, Leonard, Sammy's desperate at this point. So Leonard comes up to her and grabs Dave and is like, you know, we are not gonna, Rodney's won quite a few immunities, and we're not gonna get, yeah, the one Ella won, let's just say Rodney won that instead, just to give more proof to this. We're not gonna be able to beat him in the final challenge, especially if it's physical. So he wants, while they have the chance, while Leonard won immunity, I guess, he gets those three and they all vote out Rodney in episode 11, and that is all of the rabbits just out really quickly. I mean, I guess Rodney made it to the final four, but yeah. So for our final 3 day, Leonard wins the thing, and Dave and Leonard have been kind of buddies. They've aligned a lot of times throughout this entire season. So Dave thinks they're on really good terms. So he expects Leonard to pick him, but he's like, yeah, I know, to be honest, I've seen how you were in the last finale. He wasn't like in the finale, but with the remotes and stuff. And he's like, a lot easier competitor here is Sammy. And he's like, dude, but we're friends. And he's like, I never said that. We're not friends at all. You're annoying. And Dave goes home pissed. But he's at least happy he gets to leave the island. So this leads to our winner and alt winner for the season. And we have, I wouldn't even say our main hero. We didn't really have like a main hero this season, but Sammy. And all she's really done is be with Beardo. She didn't really get to have her big triumph over Amy. That was really Jasmine that did that for her. So then we have Leonard, who is responsible for Dave's elimination, Rodney's elimination, Beardo's elimination, Ella's elimination, Jasmine's elimination, I think. And then also for Sugar's elimination. He's for a lot of eliminations here. He's definitely the main villain of this season, which I think is really funny. And also I have a friend who really likes him, so I'm gonna make him the canon winner, even though he's the villain. People aren't the other contestants aren't happy about it, and Sammy the alt winner. But yeah, that's what I think. Well, honestly, it's not what I think would happen. This is way too good for the Pawkitew cast and the total drama writers, but this is what I would want to happen if they announced the second season of Pawkitew. And I think this turned out a lot better than I first was gonna do, because my only thing coming into this was to try to make a way for Leonard to win so that my friend would be happy. But I mean, I thought it turned out really well with a lot of the stuff. I liked getting a lot of the big characters out of the way and then letting some of the smaller characters shine, even though they've already shined a little bit in like my unmerged video and some of that. But yeah, I'll see you on the next one, which will hopefully be as soon as the last gap between videos, because that was good for me. And bye.